In this episode of Divorce for Grandchildren, this is authorized United States Magistrate Stanley Siegfried on 18C2, concurrent to 12C869. Let's start this out because I know this one won't be interrupted at any rate. Fact of the matter is, why was I authorized as a U.S. judge? I was authorized as a U.S. judge when Rosetta Elshad decided to embezzle money from my client Carolyn, or should I say Bonnie. Now, the fact of the matter is, Dana Janelle created a concurrence of 12C869. Fact of the matter is, why? Because she wants that piece of property for my client. Now, lately, Dana Janelle and my sister Rosetta Elshad has been contracting hits on me. And this has started on after the 19th because after Cassidy seen all the work I'd done to the property and made it the best piece of property on Galway Road, she had to have it. So that's when Dana decided to start using force to force me off. Dana thinks she's very slick. Yeah, she used the leverage of the child with T, and T took and was displaying that the other day. But furthermore, Dana Janelle pays with drugs. And in the near future, you're going to have Hagerstown cops. You're going to have likely Washington County deputies. You're going to have likely Maryland State police officers getting charged with tampering with evidence or something like that and getting indicted here in the next year and a half, 2 years. Now, my client, Bonnie, will go on camera and will verify that Rosetta Elshad threatened to kill her and burn the home down with her in it if she did not comply with her demands of the additional $1,500 that she was embezzling. Now, that's a fact. Now, why are they using drugs? Well, in most contract hit cases, where they're contracting to kill somebody, there's usually a money transaction. But in this case, there's not. Why? Because there can't be. Because there's an FBI agent behind it. So, what do? You recruit drug addicts to do the work. Because you can pay them very simply with, rather than money, drugs or merchandise, the underworld. And that's what Dana Janelle is doing. Now, and that's what Rosetta Elshad is doing. That's how TD got the West Coast cannabis, which I'm sure you can get at the local dispensary. But he got it off of MD, who was paid drugs rather than money because of the issue with the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Which, don't worry, I'll do a video and do tags on that too. Now, fact of the matter is, Channel 13, the hits on my life began after November the 19th, after Rosetta realized she had made the sale and her friend wanted the property. That's when the contracted hits on my life began. The reason I'm still alive, West Virginia State Police, is because it's God's will for justice. See, FBI agent Dana Janelle was intercepting my mail, prevent me from getting my clemency and compensation, because then they knew it would all fall back on John Brantley. Well, with that being said, she figured she'd use the same resources, creating a concurrence, to take and do the same thing for another piece of property. But, I mean, I gotta give it to you, Dana. You didn't hang just the jury, you hung the judge too, and the clerk. When you hang somebody, when you go into court to hang the jury, you hang the whole court. What the hell? But yeah, as you can tell, my voice is a little rough because I actually have pneumonia. But God's will, I'll make it through that too. Fact of the matter is, MD doesn't have a medical cannabis card, nor does Tyler. Fact of the matter is, when the hits on my life began was on the 19th, but the FBI's been taking and stalking me and committing heinous crime hits against me, so to speak, to keep me down, to keep the truth from coming out, to protect John Brantley Wright, WJZ. And yes, he used his influence with the judges and the officers, where he was a probation officer for Berkeley County. He actually swore me in front of John Small's office there on King Street. That's how dirty John is, my cousin. Now, he had no clue, though, that Dana and my sister was contracting his to kill me. That's taking it to the extreme. Well, I'm going to do more in the future, and I've actually got calls where WJZ13 wanted to do a story on the hits and when they began. They began November 19th. And yes, my client will testify that she even heard Kathy Justice call and admit that they owe me money. So, Jim, before I go, are you involved in these contracted hits on my life? If not, you need to do what you were saying you was going to do over 2 months ago and show my clemency and compensation at my courtroom at 136 Broadway, courtroom 2WR. And the same goes for you, Patrick Morrissey, and Shelley Moore Capito. And I will be calling government offices here, and I will do a live video with me calling the government offices. Any rate, that's shit coming in while I'm doing my video. Because, of course, I'm trying to control the signal. This Tristan Com up here at 136 Broadway, apartment 3WR, which is right above us. Yeah, he ain't even supposed to be in the apartment. Ain't that suspicious? Hey, Tristan, you're still going to federal prison. It is what it is. She ain't going to back down. And I understand Dan's been paying you all in drugs and stuff because she can't touch the money in the Federal Reserve Bank in New York. But guess what? I'm going to start calling him and tell him you have the right to remain silent. You're being ordered to appear in my court. Let's see how that works.